And we can report right now, if we can take a live look back at New York City, you can see, we believe Secret Service has appeared in front of the stage there, or is getting ready. So we're anticipating that Donald Trump will appear on stage with Governor Mike Pence at any moment. All this morning we've been talking about how the campaign is going to seek to define itself. We've talked just briefly here in the last couple of minutes about Mike Pence's early introduction into politics and some of the lessons he learned along the way.
Yeah, he first ran for Congress in 1988 against a Democrat incumbent, Phil Sharp, who served in a district that then mostly surrounded Muncie and Anderson. He lost. He ran again against Sharp in 1990, ran a very negative campaign, and again lost. And then, as we said earlier, after that, wrote an essay called Confessions of a Negative Campaigner and said that it was wrong and he wouldn't do it again. And now we've come
to be determined, right?
Yeah, we've come to a day where he's taking on a role that will require him to go on the attack in the direction of Hillary Clinton, and I anticipate that he will do that.
Which is interesting, because we asked the elected leaders who were able to talk to yesterday, Todd Rokita and Eric Holcomb, is there a sense of irony here because Mike Pence has for so long avoided negative campaigning, and they said, look, I don't want to, they sort of sidestepped all those questions with that and with RFRA, and they basically said, look, we're happy that Mike Pence is on this national ticket. We're proud of our service with Mike Pence. We're not trying to distance ourselves from Mike Pence, although obviously they would have to if they're to become the next governor.
And focusing on themselves,
right.
their hopes.
There has to be a little bit of that, yeah.
I think if you're a Republican candidate for governor in Indiana and you've got a Republican from Indiana running for vice president, you're not going to try to distance yourself too much. You may distance yourself from some of his policies, some of his positions, but I expect that before we get to November, you're going to see whoever becomes the Republican candidate for governor, they will be on stage with Mike Pence a time or two.
So distancing themselves, not in the sense of, more in the sense of strictly trying to define themselves as an individual rather than rebuking Mike Pence.
I think that's right. I think that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Another live look here at the Hilton Hotel in New York City, where we are anticipating Donald Trump and Governor Mike Pence to take the stage in any moment now. We've been watching the crowd grow throughout the morning. We've been live inside this room since 6 o'clock this morning when Daybreak first went on the air on 24-hour News 8. Of course, we've watched those seats fill, and now Secret Service making their way around the stage. So this could happen in any moment. We got the 5-minute warning, but now that's been more than 5 minutes. So once again, waiting for the schedule to play out.
And the timing of this comes on the Saturday before the Republican National Convention begins on Monday in Cleveland. We have seen running mate selections announced during the convention. Generally, a candidate tries to avoid that. Donald Trump took this up as close as he could without overlapping the convention. You're going to see Mike Pence, who had planned originally to be in Cleveland for about 48 hours. I think you'll see him there probably all 4 days. For one thing, meeting with other states' delegations, helping those who may not be familiar with him get more familiar.
Raises some question as to what path Hillary Clinton will be taking. Now, 2 weeks out from the Democratic National Convention, we hear that she is starting to have meetings as far as her running mate choice goes.
And she may well try to steal the news cycle here sometime in the next week with her announcement. Wouldn't surprise me if she waited until Friday and came out with her running mate on the day after the Republican convention ends, but it's her call.
Just to have that sort of individuality in terms of the news cycle, to allow the RNC to have come and to have passed, you think would be a better call for her in that sense.
And then you would kind of you'd take the attention away from them as soon as it's over, but I'm sure she's getting advice from lots of folks on how to handle that.
Interesting side note on the RNC real quickly. I know last month I was attending another hearing covering a totally unrelated story, and Indiana State Police announced that they were going to send 90 troopers up to help with the RNC. And now we're hearing that Donald Trump is entering the Midtown Manhattan Hilton. There he is taking the stage in New York.
Let's listen in.
Thank you, everybody. Great honor. Thank you. Great honor. Thank you. It's a wonderful day. Oh. Wow. On a Saturday morning yet. Isn't that nice? Thank you all. And we're going to have an incredible convention. It's really going well. We're going to have an incredible convention. And we're going to get things solved, and we're going to do lots of wonderful things for our country, most importantly. So I'm here today to introduce the man who will be my partner in this campaign and the White House to fix our rigged system. We are in a rigged system. And to make America safe again, and to make America great again. I want to also address the Islamic terror attack in France. We've witnessed horror beyond belief, no matter where you look, and now it's happening more and more, and it's never going to stop. We need new leadership, we need new thinking, we need strength, we need in our country law and order, and if I'm elected president, that will happen. So Mike Pence will never be afraid to speak the name of our enemy. So important. Now, I think if you look at one of the big reasons that I chose Mike, and one of the reasons is party unity, I have to be honest. So many people have said party unity, because I'm an outsider. So when I see what happened to Indiana, which was having tremendous problems, when I see what happened to Indiana under Mike's work, also his predecessor did a great job, by the way, great job, who's now at Duke, who's now at Purdue. When I see what happened with respect to the numbers, the state, and everything else, that to me was probably the single most important point, because it's something that hasn't happened, almost has not happened in this whole country. The turnaround and the strength of Indiana has been incredible, and I learned that when I campaigned there. With that, I would like to introduce a man who I truly believe will be outstanding in every way and will be the next Vice President of the United States, Governor Mike Pence. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
On behalf of my family here and looking on, would you join me in thanking Donald Trump, Melania, and his entire family for the sacrifices that they are making to make America great again?